Is it really the case like we are specialized in Jugaad? Yeah, it's a badge of honor for our Indians because that's how the world interprets us from the rest of the world. So I would like to quote a couple of examples which Elon Musk has done. One of them is like we all know about the building up these space shuttles. So, and if you go to Sriharikota, for example, ISRO, they all vertically construct that. He first challenged that. What do we need to construct it vertically? Can we really start building it horizontally? At the time of the launch, we'll be able to make it vertical. So why does it really matter? So here we are talking about the access to the different parts of your structure, and it's a lot easier and cost effective, and you can do it at a shorter turnaround time. This even NASA did not think about it. The second one was when we looked at the onboard computers. NASA was using a computer which was costing $1 million. So he said that how about using the same computers which is being used in the ATM machines, which is in US is less than $10,000. So when we all went through the semiconductor crisis and everyone started following different approaches, then broadly we talked about 3 approaches. One was the set of companies which really said we don't have really not much to think. We simply removed some of the features from the car. So we got over from the semiconductor crisis, but that's really compromising the customer experience. The second set of companies like Toyota, I would really say, I won't say that they compromised, but they deviated from the JIT principles, the just-in-time management principles. Only for semiconductors, they started piling up the stock. But that is another category which is not visible commonly, is the outlier category, which is where Elon Musk belongs to. He said that we all know for any item, China is a manufacturing powerhouse. So how is it that case like China is not producing semiconductors? In fact, China was producing semiconductors. Only difference was the high-end semiconductors were not in China, but they were still producing a lot of low-end semiconductors. He called the engineers and told them, like, can we really offer the same features what you're offering today with the semiconductors of low end, which you can source with a lot of convenience and cost advantage from China? So it was a mandate to his engineers. They made it happen. So here, you're able to achieve that without compromising customer experience, also having a focus on the cost. The third one is like we are talking about the batteries. So there is a lot of crisis on the green metals like copper, zinc, nickel. How are you going to manage it? It is at the end of the day, you will have a crisis a supply crisis for all this. When you look at those batteries, he was able to achieve the same performance with less green metals. So this is something which I would say is Jugaad is happening, and they probably don't know how to term it, but we are super good at terming it, and also the world understands that we Indians are really focused on that. And I had a long debate with one of the IIT Madras professor who did not really like the word Jugaad. He always thinks that Jugaad is interpreted more as a shortcut, which I won't say, that's the right thing. And he specializes in frugal engineering. So I requested him, how about launching a service for India, frugal engineering as a service, and we call it as FAAS, something like your SaaS. So he said, yeah, that's interesting, let's take it forward. So probably when we meet next time, in the next year for Jugaad, we may have the product ready, up and running for the Indian industry. So we have a lot of things we can take proud of in the frugal engineering space. I call it as Jugaad. The reason being, I really came up with this, again, amidst a lot of resistances. It is something Indian, so we remember that. So whenever I told that we have a supply chain Jugaad event, I always see a smile on the other person's face. If I would have told frugal engineering, I don't think how many of us could relate it. So that is the reason why we want to bring up with this term, and we love it. It is a badge of honor for us. You call it anything, but we love it. Okay, and that's what India needs. And we saw Mr. Kedar and Mr. Ahmed, even Mr. Kiran was telling that how important it is for us. And when I quoted this example, when I call about Warren Buffett, some things don't change. The customers will never say that I'm ready to pay a higher price. That's wonderfully put it, and I loved it. So that is never going to be the scenario. So when you are going to get fixated on this cost and service level, and achieving it at which it's not China plus one. Mr. Kiran Acharya said we have our own way to achieve it, and we will do it. So I would like to conclude that it's not about the decade for India; it's a century for India, and we love it, and we are going to grow in that way. I wish to thank all of the speakers, distinguished speakers here, and the Chancellor of Sri Balaji University. I miss him. And also, I really quote a past instant. I would not be here, and none of us will be here, but for Dr. Dimple Saini, because I booked the venue, Taj Airport, Bangalore. This was supposed to happen at that venue. And she said that, why don't you have a 2-minute view on my auditorium? I was stunned. I immediately called my office, can you please go ahead and cancel Taj? Let's go ahead with Sri Balaji University. And they made it happen, and the credit goes to her. And the rest of the team, like Professor Dhanraj, really made it happen. And he's also always a cool man. And I was running around today morning also. He said, no, everything is under control. Okay, so he made me settle down. And Archana fought for the team. She said, we need to have interactions. Those are wonderful moments. I really walk out of this campus towards this evening, but that's not the last time. But I keep coming here. I love to interact. And I see a lot of promising students here. We love to carry on the journey for the powerful industry academia connect. Thank you so much.